Okay, now we are interviewing Alberto, and he wants to become an architectural engineer. And what comes to mind when I say architecture?
Architecture, basically basically every building in the world. Basically, when you say architecture, because every building basically started from an architect planning it out.
Nice. Can you name some architects that may have like similar work that you like?
During my freshman and sophomore years, we did this project in architecture, and I really admired two architects, Resno Piano and Frank Gehry, and both of their like different architecture styles are still very prevalent in today's world. So yeah.
Can you describe that project?
We basically had to do research on all of their buildings and what type of buildings they created, their type of style of the building. So we just had to write like I believe an 800-word page of like this, just describing the architecture and the architect and their architecture.
Describe the exact moment that you realized you want to become not just an architect, but the architectural engineer. And what do you recall from that moment?
During my sophomore year, I was lucky enough to be able to attend a program at UCLA called Tech Camp. Here they expose you to different variations of engineering. Unfortunately, I was put in the chemical engineering, but I talked to some people there and I made some few connections that helped me realize that I was interested into engineering. And that's when I realized that I wanted to do something with engineering and architecture. So I asked one of the counselors there, and they told me there's a such thing called architectural engineering, which basically encompasses both of the fields that I want to go into.
Nice. Do you want to tell me a moment from that camp that you really enjoyed?
During my first day, I had no idea what I was doing because I was in chemical engineering. So they asked me to balance this equation, and I balanced it, but it didn't make sense to them. So I know I really enjoyed that because it's like, dang, I'm not gonna become a chemical engineer from that point on. So like, that's when I realized and went to architecture engineering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Explain how that memory may have affected you, not doing chemical, but just really wanting to do the engineering portion.
Because like when I first went into the program, like, oh, I'll explore the engineering, different majors in engineering. In that moment, I realized, wow, chemical engineering is not for me. Even though it's a rash decision at such a like early stage in my life, but I just felt like, oh, I'm not gonna enjoy this later in my life. Might as well just go look for something else.
Nice. Sorry. What way architecture engineering affected you? Like, did it come easy or is it hard?
Well, since I haven't actually been in any architectural engineering classes, I've only been exposed to what I've read, what I've seen. I basically just do architecture during my school year, and every summer I usually go to an engineering program and try to incorporate both of them. So like if my understanding of what architectural engineering is from what I do, I think it's hard, but it's rewarding.
It's rewarding? Okay. What motivates you to do something very difficult like this?
At a young age, I admired my house. And I admire it very much because like a lot of things would happen inside your house that you don't really consider, and like to see that a house still stands no matter what happens inside the house is something that kind of motivated me since at a young age. So like every time I think about my house, I always get motivated and want to like create a house just not like mine, but better, just enough so it's gonna be structurally well. It's gonna be well enough to be stand no matter what happens. That's what kind of motivates me.
Nice. Thank you. Have you ever considered quitting?
Quitting architecture or quitting my passion for architecture engineering?
Both.
During my sophomore year, I was gonna take a 1 through 7, but I wasn't sure if I was really up to because I live kind of far from the high school. Unfortunately, I live actually pretty far. It takes me 30 to 40 minutes to get to school every day. That's without traffic. So in the beginning, I was like, oh, do I really want to take a 7th period? Because I would have to incorporate architecture. And that was the point where I decided whether or not to quit. So I decided to take the first week of having a 1 through 7, and I didn't notice a big change, so I decided to continue. So no, yeah, that was my one time I thought I was gonna quit.
So you only considered considered quitting because of time?
Uh, uh, of time, yeah, because it's just it may only be 40 minutes, but that would mean I usually wake up at 6 a.m. But if I would do that, I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. So it was only reason of like having enough sleep.
Have you had any doubts in your abilities at all to pursue this?
Um, I have this problem. Like, I think I understand the problem. I just don't believe myself. Other people have told me I don't have confidence in what I do. So the majority of times when I do something, I don't think it's really that good. But people tell me it looks nice and looks good. But like, I don't believe in my work. I just kind of just do it and hope for the best.
Do your parents approve and do they support you to pursue architecture engineering?
My mom doesn't know there's a such major as architectural engineering. Well, she has no idea. She has no idea architectural engineering exists. When I first told her I wanted to become an architect because that's why I came into this class my freshman year. That's what I thought I wanted to become. She told me, "Oh, why don't you do engineering?" And like she pushed me towards engineering. So I left architecture. So wait, I kind of forgot the question. Sorry.
The question is, do your parents approve and support you, and how? And
My mom, in the beginning, I thought my mom didn't support architecture because she pushed me away towards engineering. But she told me she just thought that was a more reliable job. But later, like around my senior year, she told me if I wanted to become anything, she would support me. Just hopefully something that makes money and I'm able to support myself and a future family. That's all she cares about.
that's nice. What has architecture or architecture engineering given you?
Giving me, it gives me like a different perspective on what a house is. Because when you look at a building, well, not just a house, I'm mostly aiming towards making houses or big buildings. But it gives you like a bigger perspective that a lot of people put work and time into making a house, so like you appreciate stuff more. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.